the investigation is over. We don't know who did it.
It was over?
Cedar Rapids, Iowa, with the 45th and possibly 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump, is with us.
Do y'all think Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States? Let me know in the comments, because
You know, we had this whole issue of cocaine in the White House.
Yeah.
Okay. I could only imagine what the reaction would have been in the media and with others about this. And here's what bothers me about it. They had a 10-day investigation. They have cameras on every single person that walked into that area.
That's right.
They didn't interview a single person, and after 10 days, they declared the investigation is over. We don't know who did it.
it was over?
What's your reaction to that?
So I know the area very well. It's very private, actually.
I don't know much about government, but a 10-day investigation, my thoughts if something like that is in the White House, something that dangerous, it's very shocking to me that they're still investigating. I mean, they stopped investigating after 10 days. Because you go to like somebody like Tupac or Biggie when they tragically passed away. I just saw some news on Twitter saying they still investigating that. That happened like 30 years ago or something. 25, 30, like, but they're still investigating that. But it took them 10 days to stop investigating this. I'm not putting any fingers. I'm just saying it's kind of strange.
True sense, and they probably have more cameras.
First, there was 3 different locations, to
Yeah,
be
well,
fair.
they don't even know what location, and they also said the Bidens weren't there, and they were there. It turned out to be, false. A lot of false reporting, a lot of misinformation. They dis and misinformation, right? Nobody's ever explained the difference, but let's assume they're pretty close. You have more cameras in that area than any place probably in the world. You have the Situation Room. The Situation Room, I never even thought of it in terms of this, but probably the most important room anywhere in the world. There's no more important. Wars are decided, nuclear's decided, weapons are decided. It's been there. There's nothing more important. They have cameras.
That's where you decided to take out Soleimani. That's where you decided to take out Baghdadi and associates. Right?
Defeat ISIS. Don't forget, we defeated ISIS. I was told it would take 3 to 4 years to defeat ISIS, so we probably couldn't do it. I did it.
I just can't even imagine. My thing is this. A place as secure as D.C. or as secure as the White House, I can't even imagine something like this, for one, being in the White House. But just imagine something like this getting in the White House and then people not knowing who did it. That seems so... I can't see it happening. I'm not gonna lie, like I can't see it happening. I'm gonna try to give the I guess them the benefit of the doubt, so they really don't know who it is, but I don't know, man. I don't think they should have closed the investigation. My personal opinion.
In 4 weeks, less than 4 weeks, right? And took out the worst. But the Situation Room is very heavily guarded. They know everything. The other thing, I have a great respect for Secret Service. I deal with them all the time. They are really incredible people. And Secret Service knows what's happening. They know what's happening. So I think it's very disappointing that after just a few days that was over. That's a big deal. Cocaine. Now, the cocaine, as they say, could have been worse. They could have gone to the bioweapons. They could have gone to a lot of other
Anthrax.
things. But cocaine's pretty bad if somebody's taking cocaine and making decisions.
What if there was fentanyl in it? What if it was anthrax?
Well, it could have been a lot of
God
things.
forbid.
It could have been a lot of things. And they have cameras, and I would imagine it doesn't stop here. But Secret Service is so incredible. They don't get enough credit. And they're under the orders of other people. But I think Secret Service would be able to tell you the real answer. But you can't have a thing like that. The most embarrassing thing for our country, we were respected. 3 years ago, this country was respected, and Putin knew he couldn't do it.
Bro, I refuse. Because Biden, I don't care if y'all don't like him, bro. He's our leader right now. He's our leader. I have respect for him because he's our president. Like, I just have respect for our president. But my thing is this, bro. I refuse to believe he did something like that. I refuse. I'm not even going to speculate on it because I don't want to speculate. But y'all, I just hope that whatever he's saying is not, whatever he's implying is not true. I hope it's not true, because this is crazy, bro. A 10-day investigation, 10 days. Like, think about it like this: we have rappers locked up who've been getting investigated for the past 3-4 years who still haven't had a trial yet, and we've had investigations that people investigate for years, 10 years, 20-year investigations. So for this to be investigated fully in 10 days, maybe they have the best investigators of all time, or I don't know.
And President Xi of China knew he couldn't. You know, I gave Iowa and farmers, the farm states, $28 billion from China. $28 billion. That's why I said, you know, I go around. I don't want to be too boisterous on this, because you never know, right? But I said, there's no way I can lose Iowa, Nebraska, any of these states. There's no way, because I gave the farmers $28 billion from China. No person, no president's ever gotten 10 cents from China. I got hundreds of billions of dollars, and I went to the Secretary of Agriculture. How much has...
That's pretty impressive. That's not bad. That's not bad.
But thank you. I love you too, I will tell you that.
You know, it's crazy, like, Donald Trump, he's very controversial president. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, I wasn't the biggest fan, but I didn't know him. I was in high school. So the more I learn about him, I'm just like, okay, he's just a normal guy. Like, he's a very normal guy, in my opinion, in my eyes, from what I see. So I'm still learning about him, so I'm not gonna speak too much. But from what I've seen, like, he literally just seems like a normal guy. I mean, of course he's a politician, but from a sanity perspective, like, okay, he's cool. Like,
but think of President Xi, central casting.
Maybe I'm.
You know, when I say
need to learn more,
everyone
but
says, "Oh, that's terrible." He call it. Well, he runs 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. Smart, brilliant, everything perfect. There's nobody in Hollywood like this guy. I got them to pay us $28 billion because they screwed our farmers for years. And I had the Secretary of Agriculture come up, and I said, give me a number. They said, it's $28 billion. Comes back a week later, it's $28 billion. I said, that's a lot. I said, well, we're going to take it from China. I got $28 billion for the farmers. Who got a check? Did everybody get a check? And
oh my God.
I also made the USMCA. We had the worst trade deal that we ever made, NAFTA. You got killed on NAFTA. And I made it the best trade deal, the USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada. I got billions and billions of dollars from Japan and other countries that were taking advantage. You couldn't sell into Japan.
Did that money help pay for the wall?
Let me tell you what paid for the wall. What really helped? Mexico was great. You know, they all say Mexico. Mexico paid much more than what I was asking for, because I had 28,000 soldiers on the border when I was building the wall. And we built almost 500 miles of wall. And you know, our opponents, you know what they say?
I was always wondering what happened to the wall, because I heard about it like years ago. I'm like, did they ever build it? I guess they did.
If there's a little rotted out 2x4 laying on the ground that's been there for 50 or 60 years, and they would say when we build a 30 and 40-foot wall, oh, that's just a renovation, that's not included. We built almost 500 miles of wall. We renovated a lot. Then I said, let's build another 200 miles, because there were some areas that were weak. And it was all there, ready to be installed, and they didn't do it. But Mexico, I said to the president, you have to do me a favor. You have to do us a favor. We need 28,000 soldiers on the border, Mexican soldiers. He laughed at me. And you know, I have a very good relationship with him. But he said, but why would we do that? Because they're coming in through Mexico. You have to stop them from coming in from Mexico. They're coming in caravans. He said, we can't do that. Then he had a representative come to see the State Department person. The State Department person said, you know, I've been doing this for years. We've always asked for a lot of different things, like remain in Mexico. I got remain in Mexico passed. Nobody thought it was possible. All of the different...
And when I was in high school and stuff, like this whole like take was very controversial, saying, oh, he doesn't want people coming in through Mexico, build the wall. Though that was his take. It's not necessarily my take. But I'm gonna give you my take now, because as I got older, I'm like, well, no country wants people illegally entering their country. China doesn't. America doesn't, Canada doesn't. That's not how any country works, because if countries accepted that on like a mass scale, countries would lose their safeness. They would lose their ability, I guess, to monitor its citizens, because being a citizen wouldn't even matter anymore, because you can just come in the country illegally. Like, for example, if, let's say, Canada say, you know, we're going to lower our restrictions to enter our country, what's the point of even getting a passport anymore or getting citizenship? It's no point. Like, you just come to the country, and then it's just a whole lot that goes into that. Tax reasons, it's just a whole lot. So I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea, saying like we gotta knock down people illegally entering America.
Catch and release. How about this? You catch a criminal and you release him into the United States, okay? I got catch and release. But I got this, and they said to me, we won't do it, we won't do it. They smiled, they laughed. They said, are you crazy? We wouldn't do this. I said, yes, you'll do it. Because if you don't do it, we're going to put a 25% tax on all of your cars coming in from Mexico, and we're going to take in billions of dollars, and we'll do it ourselves. So Mexico gave us billions of dollars of free soldiers, free of charge. You know, they came back into the room after saying, actually sort of laughing at me, how stupid a question this was. They said, you think we're not going to do that? I said, yes, you will. You'll do that. He said, we're not going to do that. And I said, well, we're putting a tariff on all of your products, including all the cars you just sold, because, you know, they have 32% of our car business left from Mexico. I said, we're going to put a tariff, 25%. It's going to go higher, but 25%. Take in billions. He said, may I leave the room, please? Yes. He comes back 5 minutes later. We would be honored to give you 28,000. So Mexico paid plenty.
Let me go back to the China issue.
And love him or hate him, he, when it comes to situations like this, man, he did what was necessary. And it doesn't even matter if you don't support him or not. That's pretty impressive, because if you're the president, your main objective should be to look out for your citizens. And when he did this, I don't know where his head was at, but I'm hearing what he says, I'm seeing what he does. And he obviously was putting, I guess, the nation first with these actions. He said, I want this to happen for my country. They said, no, this is not happening. He said, yes, it is happening. He forces his hand. And I think that's very necessary if you're a leader.
Think of all the incidents we had. The Chinese spy balloon that, you know, went from the skies of Alaska down to Idaho, across to Montana, over missile sites, Kansas, Missouri, Kentucky, out the coast, the East Coast. And I look at the communist Chinese now confronting our Navy ships in international waters, confronting our fighter jets in international airspace, on top of intellectual property theft, on top of COVID-19, on top of unfair trade practices, devaluation of the dollar, I believe attempts to eliminate the U.S. dollar as the world's currency.
That's right. They want to do that. They're working hard on it. That would be a disaster.
And now they've aligned with Russia and Iran. And now they're negotiating deals.
North Korea.
And North Korea.
That's
now they're
terrible.
negotiating deals between the Saudis and the Iranians and the Saudis and the Syrians. Now, I think China is taking advantage of a president that has abdicated his role as the most dominant, America being the most dominant force in the world. Would they have ever done that under you, and how would you have prevented it?
Number one, they wouldn't have done it. Number two, if they did it, I would have said, excuse me, we're going to put a 100% tariff on all of your goods that are coming into the United States.
Wow. A 100% tariff, man. This dude, Donald Trump, he's kind of wild, man. He's kind of wild.
Backed up immediately. You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China. And as I said, not one president for many presidents ever took in anything. You know, they revered China. I don't know. I also explained, hey, we all love China. Let's love China. Let's respect the president. Let's respect everybody. But they took advantage of the United States, making hundreds of billions of dollars a year. We built their military because they made so much money. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China.
Do you think Taiwan is going to get invaded?
Well, I think they have no respect for Biden. They have no respect whatsoever for him. It would have never happened. I met with Putin, and I said, listen, if you do this, really, really bad things are going to happen to Russia. And I don't want to say because I'm not going to get into that. but I said really bad things. He said, no, 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 you would never do that. I said, yes, I would. And he said, I don't like that. But you know, maybe he didn't believe it, but he believed it 5% or 10%, and that's all he needed. I said bad thing. Said the same thing to President Xi. I had a great relationship with, frankly, both of them. And you know, having a good...
And this is what I'm talking about, dude, man. Dude forces his hand crazily. I'm not going to bash Biden. I'm not going to do that on my page. That's just not what I'm going to do. Because he's still our president. Don't get it twisted. But this dude, Donald Trump, bro, he obviously didn't play no games when he was president. But yeah, if you have any more suggestions for me, comment down below. I will see y'all in the next one. It's LFR Jojo.